public-private partnerships were a linchpin of this plan. Before we get into that and where that stands, how about just the conversation about infrastructure? How much is it something that folks on Capitol Hill in particular are talking about right now?
Well, they've been a little distracted right now by all the other things that have been going on, like hurricane relief. But it is something that's a priority for members of both parties. They want to see investments in the nation's roads, bridges, highways, and they're looking for the White House to lead on this issue.
Yeah, now the president also saying these private partnerships won't work. What does that mean for the future of where financing comes from?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Does that mean that we're going to have more direct federal investment, which is what a lot of Democrats would like to see, or are states and localities going to be on the hook for that? So we're not really sure where the funding is going to come from and whether or not this is a wholesale switch on the part of the administration or if it's just a recognizing of the fact that P3s only work in certain places.
Yeah, where does it work? I know there's been a lot of conversation about the role that it might play. I called it a linchpin, but I think there's been a spirited debate over how much this plan, when it comes together, should rely on public-private partnerships. What do we know about the efficacy of them so far at the state level, say?
Yeah, well, it depends a little bit on how well they're negotiated. So that's part of the issue. So states and localities that have experience doing this have figured out a good balance, but some places have gotten burned in the process and it's cost them a lot of money. And it tends to work in more rural, or not rural, but more urban areas where there are more people using the roads or bridges, and so those charges make it more worth the investment. Whereas if you have a rural road, there's only so many people who are going through there, and so how do you find the right balance to pay for that?
Gary Cohn just told reporters back in August that the infrastructure bill could get started in the House and then move with tax measures. Where are we when it comes to the timeline of this, and who will take leadership?
Yeah, so we're looking for something. They've said the fall, they've said the third quarter. Now the most recent suggestion is that it's coming after this tax overhaul, which just started conversations last week. So, the administration has been rosy, thinking that they can get this done this fall. I think Congress is a little bit dubious of that, just given the limited number of working days that they have left to really kind of execute on it. They could start talking about it, certainly, before the end of the year. And in terms of leadership, it could come out of the House and then move over to the Senate. There are a group of senators on the Environment and Public Works Committee who are trying to charge ahead on their end to see if they can kind of get some investment in roads and bridges there. So the administration is the one that we're looking to for leadership and to point the right direction. But congressional delegates of both parties are kind of getting antsy and looking for their own ends.